Coming to you live from the cradle of motherfucking civilization. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. As every week, I'm Log Power Slave. I'm joined by Mylan Games again this week, who dipped out last week to live his real life. But we're down a member, but we've replaced Slothy with Tamsin. And I think everyone will agree that it's a good move.
Dude, the happiness of this stream has increased about a fucking 1,000% just by not only the removal of Sloth, but the replacement of Sloth.
And we're only saying this because we know that he's watching this in the chat. So, you know, suck it. Yeah, fuck you both. That's fair enough. But yeah, I was waiting for Tamsin to chip in and say something absolutely abhorrently horrific to try and throw me off my roll after coming into the intro, but it didn't happen. So everything went swimmingly and here we are. But welcome, Tamsin. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
So how is everyone? We'll do that. Let's do that. Matt, how are you?
See, we're normally used to some fucking rampage and
I'm gonna make a pact that if anyone needs to get angry about something tonight, I'm gonna do it. I feel like I don't want to let Slothy down. Now we're gonna talk about Slothy in a minute, about something that's a little bit more important than other stuff, but let's get how we're all doing out of the way. Maddie, I haven't seen you for a fortnight. It's been great, but how you going?
Yeah, good. I'm back at the Saturday classes for my PhD data collection, and I'm on the final straight now. So my weeks are all weird because it's like Friday, Saturday are full days, Sunday off, Monday's a full day, and so my weekend's like Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's resulted in a lot of video games midweek, mostly with Sloth, to be honest.
Playing Farkov again? Is that what you've been? Yeah, you fucking grubs.
And but look at this, right? So we did the charity stream for Bungie Foundation and the Children's Miracle Network and Extra Life on, was that Wednesday night? Wednesday night. Yeah. And didn't even get to play Destiny. I was reading lore for 4 hours and then started playing, and one of the incentives was like $10, keep reading. As soon as I played Crucible, those donations started rolling.
You are the only streamer I've ever seen paid to not play games, Matt. And no one missed that moment. They're like, people are donating to stop Matt playing comp. Go back to your PowerPoint, your bloody Word documents, please. It went well. Good on you, mate. What did you end up raising? What was your total?
Oh, look, because I left the announcement video up, I think we're about close to 4,500.
Wow.
Not quite enough. What was the I'll chop my beard off for X amount
well,
of dollars?
No, look, as someone who has a partner who has a legal degree, it was during the stream. If we reach $5,000, I'll shave the beard off.
Right.
So I don't want to hear that. I don't want that.
For the kids, come on.
I don't think anyone wants to get lawyered by Danny. I don't know.
You've met Danny now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm fucking scared, man.
She's commanding.
Yeah. She's an alpha. We're all alphas, and then you just put us in a place and we go, no, Danny's the alpha.
Yeah.
That was the funniest shit, seeing at PAX all these grown men following around the smallest chick for a pub crawl.
There's a lot to be said for walking with confidence, but there you go. Tamsin, welcome. How are you? How's your week been? How has your fortnight been, or 3 weeks since we saw you at PAX?
It's been good.
It's been
for a second, I thought you were saying, "Oh, have you been watching me play Fortnite offline?"
No.
Yeah, no, I have been having a crack at that. No, it's been good. Still a lot of streaming. Not working at the moment, so getting a lot of extra hours in, which is nice. There's a lot of content at the moment, so there's nothing dry. Got a few job interviews throughout the week, so that was nice. Hopefully we're going to be employed soon. Got a mini holiday coming up. So yeah, it's been really good. A lot of stuff happening with Bungie and stuff like that, which is really exciting. Being a part of the charity event too, that's coming up for me. So super excited.
When's this
It is November the 9th at 5 p.m. Queensland time.
That's a made-up time. What is it for real people?
Australian Eastern Standard Time. And it's 12 a.m. PDT, which is like the Thursday night for Americans. And it is 7 a.m. for GMT for London. No, 8 a.m. It's changed again.
It's around.
I nearly had it, but everyone just got like daylight saving, so I've like had to rethink about what everyone is now.
Time zones, man.
Time zones, man. This is the half of the year when all three of us are in a different time zone. It sucks.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to talk about my fumble with the charity and Twitch and YouTube, but maybe we'll come back. We'll come back to that, right?
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll do a segment at the end. Mylon's bungling. But
I thought you were going to share your work week, mate.
No, we're not talking about that. I was a very cranky boy at a couple of points this week and went into what I call dad mode, where I just started.
Just stomps people. Just fucking stomps people.
While it felt good at the time, I regret it. So we're not going to get into it because first and foremost, I don't want to get in trouble at work. But before we move on and before we start talking about Destiny, I want to give a shout out to our third wheel who's not here tonight. Slothy is in chat, so say good day to him. But he has started Movember, and I mean, he doesn't want to admit it, but that's why he's not here. His face is, I mean, he'll probably get angry at me telling you this, but Sloth actually has testicles on his chin that his beard hides, right? So when he shaves clean, it'll be against terms of service. So we can't have him on the podcast until he grows a bit of a beard back for Movember. So it's all good. that's the yarn, and we're sticking to it because he's not here to defend
think we're
himself.
joking, but you haven't seen the pictures we've seen.
Oh, honestly, the picture of Sloth that he sent us it's enough it'd curdle milk. It was pretty bad.
I have a very vivid image in my head right now, and I don't know if I want it in there.
You know, like the face swap app.
He looks like Sloth looking down into a camera like this, but if you put his face on someone's big toe.
Well, yeah, if there was a big toe app that swapped your big toes over.
I'm sure there's a market for that.
That would be Sloth's head straight onto your big toe.
If you're kicking around in chat, !Mo, and you can jump on and it'll give you a link straight to his Movember page, which is a brilliant and excellent thing. We've all done it at some point, so great cause and legendary shit, Slothy. And hopefully your face looks a bit less bad next week. All right, well, do we want to jump into talking about some fucking Destiny? Does that seem like a good idea? All right, let's play this. All right, so as is tradition, we've entered the festive season of the Festival of the Lost-ish thing, whatever. It's that time of year.
Yeah, I can tell that you're panicking about reading the TWAB and you've already fucked up the first sentence.
I've fucked up reading the run sheet and there's about 8 lines of text on it. So God help us, it's going to be a long night. I've bought lots of beer, it's fine. But we're in Festival of Lost this week, so I don't know. I mean, we've probably all had a chance to jump in and check it out.
No, look, I haven't had a chance, so I'm going to quiz you guys of what there is to do. How about that?
Okay, how about that?
Sounds good.
So, look, I loaded the tower, and the tower's all decorated, I assume.
No, they didn't do that this year.
Shut up. All right, and
I'm
then
too honest with you guys.
grandma cookies. Are we baking? Are we doing something again?
That was Christmas, man. You mix it.
I know, but
flavor.
is there something like that?
Yeah, you get candies.
Candy and chocolate strange coins.
Are there raisins again?
I believe there are. I believe there are. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Is there some celery? Did the celery turn to something else?
Stuff may have turned into other things.
Okay. And what's the end goal? What are people chasing in this event?
Well,
Clean teeth.
What? Clean teeth.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Yeah,
a part of
brush
the
your,
quest
brush your
line, yeah.
teeth after participating in the Festival
Yeah,
of the Lost.
very important.
Otherwise, you'll look like some kind of toothless redneck. But there's a gun, and you can get Pinnacle rewards out of it. So that's the
Yeah.
reason for doing it.
What's the gun?
Braytech Werewolf. It's an auto rifle. Apparently, it's not super great, but who knows? I mean,
Right.
it's sort of definitely been overshadowed by the other big weapons that have dropped this week in terms of Xenophage.
And what about the skeleton armor stuff?
Oh,
it's
that's
cool.
fantastic.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I bought the Titan one straight off the bat, no questions asked.
Oh, so it's Eververse, is it?
Yeah. So you can actually use Bright Dust to buy it. So I think
Yep,
it's about
use Bright Dust.
6,000, which is
Yep.
I was happy about that because it was exciting to be able to buy something without using silver. But it was actually my first time ever to buy silver in the game. So I was pretty
Ever?
excited about that.
Ever.
First time ever. Yep. Being one of those people that just
Wow.
never caved in.
I've done it twice. One was the Whisper of the Worm
Mhm.
skin, and the second was when they released finishing moves. I instantly bought the fucking drop kick or whatever it is. Like, well, I bought one of them. I was like, I have to. The finishing moves are so cool.
Yeah. No, I got the broomstick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
very
you can play
Harry
Quidditch.
Potter-esque. It was so much, and it wasn't just like the look of it. It was like the movements and the way it moved around got me. Like, yes, it looks cool, but it was just the way it moved. I'm like, I feel like I'm in Harry Potter, so I had to get it. I was pretty happy about that purchase. So I hope a lot of people buy it and it goes to a good cause. I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, they funded what was it?
The
Seaver gun. 0 hour.
the 0 hour
that was
mission
entirely
from
funded. Yeah, fucking oath. Yeah, I forgot about that. And I mean,
Yeah,
I guess these
that's
things are
the
going
one
to change now too. Like, since that was before it was free to play, right? So obviously there's a change in dynamic going on there, and maybe there's a free to play audience that may dabble in a little bit of microtransaction stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out going forward. But I'm going to get up both of you right now because you're making me feel bad about my spending
Excuse
habits.
me?
Yeah, I can't say that when we've got a lady on the cast. I beg you. I beg my own fucking pardon. But you're making me realize by the fact that you guys don't buy silver that I might have a problem, because I've actually dead set 100% honestly bought the ornament for the Monte Carlo, and I don't even have the gun yet.
And would you ever use the gun?
Yeah, I'll use it because it refreshes your punch, right? And that's important to me on a spiritual level. But
I'm a warlock, so
I flat out I don't even have the gun, and I've bought an ornament for it. So I'm gonna go and
I hope that's like a curse. This is like the festival
you,
of the
man.
Lost
That's just horrible.
curse for you, and you don't get Monte Carlo
Ever.
forever.
You made me sad, man. You made me fucking sad.
So what? You got a gun? Is it a haunted forest back?
Yeah, the haunted
Yes.
forest is back.
Yeah.
It's it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's much the same.
It looks
It's
really,
the same
really
sort
good.
of cool.
It's the same, but it's different. Like, I feel like there's a lot more detail in it. When you're like going through, there's like cobwebs and there's like candles and pumpkins and
okay.
like
Yeah,
little
beautiful.
skeletons chilling against like some bits and pieces, and same concept, but I think
I
it's
think
just. I feel like there's more attention to detail.
They've upped the lighting heaps. It looks like kind of like you'd like it, Matt, because it's a bit synth wavy looking. There's like this
great. I
purple
love that
lighting
shit.
and stuff around as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a bit-
and you
bit
have
Tron.
to see how many bosses, how many waves you can complete and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah, so I think
9
I've
waves.
9 ways
Sorry,
to get the
9
pinnacle
waves
drop.
to get it. Yeah.
So that's
Right.
the mark. But I mean, obviously, all the people who are excellent at Destiny are going out and doing like 14 and 15, and I'm doing about 7. Not quite good
Yes.
enough, log, you shit bag. Anyway,
Right.
the
I
other
think I
thing,
got past 9.
And they released. See, because I'm a week. I didn't participate last week. I can't remember what came out last week and the week before.
everything came
whatever.
out
So
this week.
Xenophage is available.
Xenophage.
Leviathan's Breath, though. When was that?
That was last
podcast?
week. That was last
Okay,
week.
so I've missed that boat. Yeah.
And they have released the new dungeon,
Dungeon.
the Pit of Heresy.
dungeon.
I'm not sure if it's a
Yeah.
nod to Warhammer or not, but it sounds like it.
It's
Is that a-
good.
I have not had a chance to even step foot in it. So we're relying. It's your
On me.
yeah. It's all you, mate. You're just gonna have to carry the show. You just
No, that's fine.
So
I've done
what
it
did
twice.
you think? Done it twice.
Yeah,
cool.
it was good. It was the the first time I went around, I was a bit confused as to like what I was doing, but it was kind of like this, you know, the same sort of mechanics that kind of carry throughout. I think it's like 3 or 4 different encounters to get to. You know, it's easy to navigate. I mean, I had fun. I had fun doing it, and it's nice to see other people trying to do like solos and solo flawlesses already. I did the first time as well with the Xenophage quest line, so that was nice. A little extra room to go into with an extra boss, which I think had a pinnacle drop, if I can remember correctly, or it had a decent drop
from the wizard.
Yeah, from the wizard.
The wizard.
And the wizard.
That was fun. I liked it. Still a bit confused what I was doing, but I was just running around and getting it done. So
did you get any of the new weapons drop from it too? Right.
Yeah, I think I had the hand cannon drop, and I can't remember what else I had drop, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It'll be nice to see, you know, whether people want, as a content creator, whether people want to help doing it and stuff like that, or are people happy just to get it done and over with?
I don't know if it's just because there's been, you know, dungeons aren't a new thing. We've had a number of them now, but I don't feel like there's been as much hype around this dungeon. Is that just because you think we've had dungeons before, or is it on the same level as Whisper and that kind of thing, or maybe I've just been out of the loop?
Maybe they were a little bit more challenging, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think light level wise it's too difficult, but I think they're going to be bringing out, or I don't know if they're going to be bringing out, but a harder version. We're hoping maybe they might bring out a harder version, so that would be a little bit more. Maybe you feel a little bit more rewarded doing it if it's a bit harder, and then doing the solos on a harder level and doing the solo flawless as well. But it's cool. It's cool. Similar mechanics to like you know, using those symbols and stuff like that with the chests you find around the moon and stuff like that. So.
Oh right, okay. I was wondering if that was going to become an actual like important mechanic, which is cool. Cool. That they did that.
It'll be cool to see like the names that come out for the different symbols and stuff like that. Because when I was running it, I was hearing ice cream cone and burger and H and minus and I don't know, all this sorts of stuff. And
I think that's when the Destiny community becomes its best, right? Like all of the descriptions of the Last Wish emblems.
That was probably the best thing that came out of that game.
Some of them are fucking horrific. I don't know. I mean, I think that's you raise a fair point, Matt, because I don't feel like I've seen as much hype around about it either. Like it would have been normally the thing that I would have had a crack at straight away, but I was just stuffing around doing Festival of the Lost stuff on Thursday night, on Wednesday night, yeah. So... I mean, maybe I shouldn't.
A part of me, like, yes, it's there and I had to go at it, but like today I spent my time doing the new momentum control.
Yep.
Because that's going to be gone at reset, and I need to get my Randy's quest done. So that's really good to get rifle kills. So I spent all day doing that. And then also Festival of the Lost stuff. So like, and there's a lot of triumphs as well before the season ends. And I know the dungeon's kind of going to be around, so I'm not.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the content that's going to sit there for when, you know, it dries up a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's the other thing is too that like all of the other dungeons have been a surprise. Like they haven't been heralded.
That's what I was thinking too, yeah.
So when people are expecting it and kind of knowing, okay, well, this is coming this week, it kind of, you know, then they go in, okay, it's cool. Where's 0 Hour and all that sort of stuff was just, holy shit, what is this? What's going on, you know? So,
yeah, cool. It could have been something like that. Yeah, no, just a thought. But I mean, it obviously takes a lot of. I think I saw someone post like, "Would you prefer to get like 2 raids or like a dungeon, like a raid later as well, or like a dungeon and a raid?" But I think a dungeon and raid's a good balance because it's an in between place.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just wrangling 6 people is a pain in the ass, and wrangling 3 is pretty standard for Destiny. So. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's good to have challenging PvE content that you don't need a whole 100 people for.
It's nice seeing more content come out that allows people to try low man activities, you know, and like almost quest lines that like, or triumphs that push people to attempt low man challenges and kind of understand why people do them and why they're so much fun and stuff like that. Or, you know, when there's triumphs to, like when Menagerie had the 3-man and stuff like that. Like I thought that was a fantastic thing because it's pushing people to have an attempt at doing low man challenges and stuff like that. I really like,
I think that's an important thing too because I think people are probably a little bit better than they realise when they really push themselves. Because a lot of the content in Destiny, and I'm fucking guilty as shit of it, is like when you're in a fire team with 5 of your mates, you can just, I'm not even really concentrating. I'm too busy talking shit and just go straight through it. But you don't really kind of get the entire context of something until you're really being punished by it, which sounds kind of weird. But
I'm exactly the same. Honestly, I don't try a lot of low men like I should, and I know that I could probably do them, but I'm very lazy. So I'm like, why do that when I can just take people through raids really easily?
I think we've got that in common, the laziness. So anyway,
I
mean, it's a national character trait and or flaw, but it is what it is.
National character trait.
Sedentariness. The other thing that's going around this week that is a limited time deal is, as Tamsin mentioned just before, Momentum Control. Fucking hell, this is going to be a long tour reading. You better buckle in. Momentum Control, which is basically Jade Rabbit Fest. They should have just called it Jade Rabbit Fest because it's the best.
NGLs and grenade launchers.
Yeah, great. Fucking, I'm going to start a campaign to get them fucking deleted from the game. But anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Have you you've obviously had a go at it. Matty, have you managed to have a go at it yet?
I don't even fucking know what you're talking about. What happened?
It's like Destiny SWAT. Remember SWAT from Halo, or you never played that either?
No.
It's probably like Tarkov. Just imagine, do you get killed really quick if you get shot in the head in Tarkov?
Yeah.
It's like one bullet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like that, but with a Jade Rabbit.
Or you get blown up by a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
Fast respawns, quicker kills, ability regeneration tied to the defeat of your opponents.
Yep.
Get out of there and make Shax proud. Okay, so all right.
So high impact weapons.
Everyone's just using scout rifles. Is that the deal?
Yeah, and it's coming a good time because a lot of people are chasing that Randy's completion. Chasing scout rifle kills in the normal Crucible, like Sloth did literally the week before this dropped, is shit. I know because I chewed my ear off about it, but it's one of those things where they drop this and then it becomes a hell of a lot easier. I did 5% in like a fucking game, so you can definitely jump in. You can definitely jump in and smash it out if you are chasing that gun. But I don't know. I mean, for me, I think it's a good little something different for a minute. But I don't know that it doesn't feel very Destiny. I'll say that. It feels really weird to just be able to, it's like, there's no radar. So you basically creeping around the map, trying to get really long lines of sight on people and just crack them in the head quickly. It's a completely different animal.
Call of Destiny, is it?
I mean, yeah, kind of. It's
I
more
like it. I like having no radar. Like, it's challenging. I don't hate it.
I think they should. I think they could definitely do more no radar modes. They probably need to have a look at the sound queuing for footsteps and things like that because they can be a little bit misleading. But I think that there's definitely like a no radar mode interest. Like, I like it, and there's a few of the other boys have liked it. I mean, obviously some people don't, but I just think that it's super. It's like that heightened to its extent. Like you're going to be basically trying to pick lines and all that sort of stuff, and I guess it's cool in a way because you control in space more than what you'd normally be. Like you can hold a point, and if you've got the drop on someone, you'd almost certainly win if you don't miss. So I don't know. I mean, it is different. It just, for me, it's kind of like, well, I wouldn't want to see Destiny actually go that way in terms of that being the way the game is played, but it's cool for a little difference. It's cool for something to do that's different. That's for sure.
Yeah. Nice in the rotation.
Do you get additional ranks for it or something, or towards your Halloween stuff, or is it just? No,
it's completely separate. It's like a labs playlist or whatever you want to call it, like that. Okay. So it's just something different to try. But I mean, honestly, it works well. It's they've implemented it well, so it goes to show that they can do these kinds of crazy things and not break the game. I mean, I don't think there's people abusing the fucking hunter invis and stuff like that, but shit happens until. I mean, they can't just disable abilities in it, so we've got to fucking suck it and see. That's it.
I don't think it's a mode that you like sweat in. Like when we've been going into it, I'm just been focusing on getting my kills, probably not really playing the objective as much as I should be, but just having fun and stuff like that. I've heard some people not really enjoy it, saying it's a stupid game mode and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not going to be. Can't see it being permanently on the Crucible rotation, but it'll definitely be on a rotation sort of thing. And I think it was fun, and it's good timing with the Randys because I'm sitting here stressing about all the stuff I have to get done before the season finishes. And it's just, focus a night on that and I can get it done potentially. So I quite like it.
I briefly saw someone saying like they're stressing about getting stuff before the season finishes. What is the
I was
what is
just
the
thinking
stress
that.
about?
I was
What
just
do
thinking that.
people need to
'Cause
get?
when you look at the triumphs for like the I've completely forgotten it now, the Vexed Invasion one, like the seal and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the Undying title. You need to have all
you
of
have
the
to get it
guns.
done at the end of by the end of the season and stuff like that. Like it says these triumphs aren't like available after.
And they're pretty epic, are they? Or is it just dedication, really?
Well, you got to like get, X amount of submachine gun kills, fusion rifle kills, hand cannon or precision kills in the Vex Invasion and do
See,
certain
Log
things.
and I are way too fucking lazy for this shit.
Yeah.
We're just like,
The only thing I don't like about it is I like going back to the seals and the triumphs when there's not much else to do.
yeah, right.
But I feel like with those particular ones, I'm worried that I can't go back to them and I would still like the opportunity to do them.
That almost is like that's what I thought the point of those seals were. Like, they were like end game chasing, not like rushing to complete before the season.
Such a fine balancing act when you consider
Maybe
like
they'll be
I can see what
looking
they're trying. I can see what they're trying to do in terms of like you have to be here at this time doing this shit to get the title.
Like buy the content sort of thing.
It's like you just have to be there, but to sort of force people to do that in that time frame means that you're rushing something that you could kind of be just chipping away at in terms of, like I did with Dredge, and it took me fucking forever because I just, and now I don't play Gambit at all because I've burnt myself on it. But still, like it's I don't know. I think it's a balancing act. I'd like to see them kind of maybe it's something that they can do that it'll just take longer if you don't do it in the season or whatever.
You see, I agree with like DC and chat that said there should be portions that are time limited, so you still have to be there, but then the grindy ones, you can do off season.
Yeah, because I mean you don't want to spend your whole time just doing Vex Invasion right now.
I've been spending a lot of time raiding too, so I'm like, I feel like I'm not behind, but it's like I've been spending so much time helping the community with raiding and stuff like that. And I stop and look back and go, oh, I haven't done the Vex stuff. I haven't done, there's all the dungeon stuff and there's the Festival of the Lost stuff. And then, like I said, getting my Randies and stuff like that. It's like there's so many different things I could be doing, which is good. You want that, but when there's like a time constraint, it starts to get probably more stressful than it should be.
I think in that respect, Destiny is like, I used to try and keep up with everything, a while back. Now it is at the point where I'm like, I have no hope. There is so much on the table that is like, I've been kind of concentrating on comp this season and playing a lot of that. So I think I've done a raid. I haven't looked at the dungeon, like I've been sort of, so in that respect, looking at it now, I've probably got no hope of even going through and getting the fucking title, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is.
It's fine.
It's fine. I mean, everything.
It's one of those things when you kick yourself later on. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
Don't do that to me. For fuck's sake, you can't. Just imbue me with regret. Thanks. Fucking awesome. Yeah,
all we see is on Log's fucking Discord a little fucking debuff pop on the left hand side. Anxiety increases.
But if I don't sleep for the next 3 weeks, I'll get it all done. Yeah. Anyway, fuck it. I don't give a shit. I love the game.
That's what anxious people say.
Fucking. Who needs fucking enemies when you got friends like this? Jesus Christ. All right, well, we might dive in and I'll read the TWAB really poorly in Stoss Sled.
Oh, we've done it, mate. We've basically done it.
I know.
There's one more thing, though. Yeah.
There was a few kind of contentious things that came up out of the TWAB today, and I'll put a tweet out about it, but we can discuss it.
Really? The hotfix is the last main thing, right?
Yeah, that's it. You want to read it? You can read it. Do you know what it's all about?
Oh, mate, I fucking hate Twitter, to be honest. Most of the time, I don't know how you engage in Twitter wars.
I don't engage anymore. I gave up on that shit. I just say what I've got to say, and then I kind of leave.
Okay. Well, I'm not even at that point. That's not saying what I want to say. I don't even want those comments flying back to me. But what Pinnacle weapons are now giving? The short of it is Pinnacle rewards give you +2 instead of +1.
Yes. And you
so
only
it's
need
easier to get to 960.
Yes. Is basically the thing.
And there's a group of people that are angry and there's a group of people that are happy.
Yeah, it's a typical like casual versus serious player sort of thing, because the people who are competitive are like saying that it's good to have this slow grind because it keeps things like it keeps you playing the game and keeps you playing all the content that's available to get those pinnacle drops, whereas the casual players obviously feeling like I'm doing so much of the game and I'm still not getting rewarded and not feeling rewarded, whereas the competitive players are feeling rewarded because they're actually like putting the time and getting somewhere and feel like they're getting somewhere. So yeah, it's just the typical like
I think it's about
balance.
the way it's kind of presented. Hey, like with Destiny through the course of it, if you've played persistently through a season or like through an expansion or whatever up until now, by the end of it, you'd kind of be at max light level, right? Like you'd be at 750 or whatever it was last season. I can't even remember. But with this, it sort of makes that impossible. It's like a carrot that the average player can never really get to. It's just purely designed for that, like people who play Destiny for a job or whatever, like really hardcore players. And while I totally agree that they need something in the game that they can strive for, I don't think that it's that anyway, because as they kind of I'll say Chevy's tweet, Chevy, where he said that, like, holy shit. Is that your cat?
My cat just rolled over and knocked a bottle off my table.
Fucking hell.
Excuse me, human. Are you doing something important? Fuck your bottle.
Knock it off the desk. I need all the space on the desk possible.
Good cat. But what I was saying, I think the thing that fucking annoys me about it is that like it's so arbitrary. It doesn't mean anything. Like, and even in the course of like tweeting about their frustrations, it's like, oh, this is shit, and people complained on Reddit to the point where they changed it. I don't think that was ever the case. I think Bungie decided that it wasn't working the way they wanted it to, so they've changed it. And then
look, just reading the finer points of here, it looks like it was an issue with duplicates, and they're like, this looks like a little bit of a band-aid for duplicates, to be honest.
That, and it's kind of like, shit, this was taking people heaps fucking longer to rank up than we expected, so we're going to change it.
Is there like a need, like from both, I guess, a casual and a competitive player perspective, is there really a need to get past like that 960, 950 base? Because once I hit it, I was kind of like, I don't feel like the content's not going to be harder. I'm not missing out on doing anything. I'm not struggling anymore, any less, by trying to like pay attention to getting to those extra levels sort of thing. Like,
I think that's the greatest irony of it all, is that it's 10 levels of light that because of the artifact ultimately don't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, like
it's like no matter what situation you're in, it is irrelevant. So,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like for the casual players, it's like, you're upset because you're not getting to that power level, but realistically you don't need to get to that power level. But then like why
do people care that they're at that power level to begin with? So I don't know. I think that like going forward, it'd be nice. Like I understand that people who are investing a shitload of time in the game want a way of differentiating themselves. And I think in some respect, the artifact is that, because it can be leveled indefinitely, right? Like if you're sinking a shitload of time in and you're continually leveling up, you're going to be, I think there's people that are at fucking 990. Like I saw a post today. I think that like having this kind of gear, like, I feel like everyone should be able to get to that power level of 960. I feel like that's Destiny. It's always been Destiny. So it's kind of like that's when you know that you finished, right? Like when you can't level up anymore. Yeah. And then you can worry about builds.
Now it's like making builds, really.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing too, is that like in your end game, the real end game isn't I need to chase this arbitrary number to make it higher and it doesn't really matter anyway.
No reason. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I have the resources and materials to craft the perfect set of armor for myself. So I'm going to do that. And like that's the other thing too, is like you look at the amount of like god roll weapons and shit we see, and everyone's always going on about streamer loot and all that sort of shit. But that's a function of time, right? Like streamers always have good gear because they play a fuckload of the game. Yeah. So that's the real perk of being in it all the time. It's not these artificial levels that ultimately don't matter.
It's just like people have taken their complaints from the previous patch and brought them forward into Armor 2.0 and still chasing numbers when it's like they're
Yeah.
sort of moving away. That's not really the end game anymore. The end game is making your
Build.
armor sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the sticking point with me is that like,
And you got the artifact. It is fucking super redundant. The more you talk about it,
yeah, no, it ultimately doesn't matter. That's why I'm like, why is it even there? But for me, I'm like, well, when you're at 950, is that when you start building sets, or because like for me, I still feel like I've got shit to chase because I'm not at the max yet.
Well, you're not building the it's not the light level you're waiting for. It's kind of like the stat rolls you're waiting for, sort of thing, and waiting for them to drop, which would be like, what is it? You're over 60 sort of thing would be great, or 50, the high 50s sort of thing. So that can drop from like a lower level gear stuff, and then you're spending your resources and stuff to upgrade that. Whether do you keep it? Do you not keep it? There's like, it's crazy. I was thinking about this today. You think about, okay, so I need an Arc Void and Solar, or with like high stat rolls, right? And there's more stuff as well as to like, the different stats you get within it and how it's balanced and stuff like that. But if you're just looking at those three, but on top of that, you also have to be doing all the old raids as well, because if you want hive ornaments, and to be able to put that on something, you need, that piece of armor. So I'm sitting and going, oh, it's great. I only have to keep 3 pieces of armor and I can delete everything else. I'm like, no, I need to keep like something for Crucible, something from Last Wish, something from Leviathan or Menagerie, or like, I have to keep everything and do Scourge of the Past again. And it's cool because you have to do old content, but it's also like, crap, now my vault's going to be really full because I'm not going to know what to delete when I thought it was going to be the complete opposite sort of thing. So.
Then people in the back going, there's not enough content.
Just, you know what? To people who bitch about that there not being enough content, I tell them to go and have children. And then you'll log into Destiny and you'll have to just ask people like I do. It'll be like Nick or Max or whoever I talk to going like, oh, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? What's going on with this? And I take 3 days every fucking week to catch up with what's actually happening, and then I do a podcast about it. That's fucking, man, it is.
Can you imagine me when I have children? I might have to quit the podcast. I'm not going to know anything.
You know anything now?
What's the opposite of the glass ceiling effect? Rock bottom?
Rock bottom. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Chatter encouraging you strongly not to breed. Oh, it's just sloth. Never mind.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, ultimately, it's the most Destiny argument I've seen in probably 6 months because it's all about shit that doesn't matter anyway. So good on you.
Maybe it's because Bungie set that like 960 in our mind, because for me, the way they've set 960 is kind of my 950, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I've hit it when I've hit 950, not 950 base level, not 960. But then I guess a lot of people are like, no, it's 960. So maybe if they made it easy to get to 960, and then we were feeling that, Pinnacle Grind that the competitive players are feeling now, 960 plus, maybe that would then cater to both. But maybe expectations and having them met, I think that's quite important.
Just to throw out,
like deliverable.
Just to throw out a completely ad hoc idea for changing the way that this works, right? Given that the artifact fucking levels indefinitely, and that's cool, and I like it, and we've got these kind of like reasons to do content that ultimately don't matter in this sort of 10 power levels that you've got to do the pinnacle content stuff for. What if they just moved that over to the artifact and said like, okay, you reach your power level, but if you want to level up faster in terms of your artifact and all that sort of stuff, and the stuff that really doesn't matter except for esteem, what if they gave like challenges within the artifact that, like bullshit that normal people will never do? Do 50 fucking raid clears, do 60, 70 raid clears, and you get bonus like kind of growth in your artifact or leveling up in your artifact for that. I think that like it's kind of like a 6 of one, half a dozen of a system at the moment. It's kind of like it's neither in or out. Like it's redundant, but people still want it. I think that we could definitely see it improved is all I'm getting at in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, I think the whole like 950, 960 is just a bit of a like communication marketing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I wouldn't say like error, but just the way that you talk about it. And I think everyone feels like 950 was like max, and then like 960 was super max or something, you know, like 950 was really all you were aiming for. When really what it was the power bracket between 950 and 960, or to get the engrams, we created a new engram to get between 950 and 960. But the way they were talking about it, it almost felt like 950 was the real sort of end. And then if you really wanted to move on, you know, maybe you could get to 960, and that was for like the hardcore people. When I don't know if that was the correct way to talk about it. Really, it was just we've structured engrams to reward you for these brackets, these power level brackets. Do you know? Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
It does. Yeah, and I just think that it's kind of unfortunate because the only real issue with it is that everyone is used to being able to get to max power by the end of the season. And that is what's frustrating about it for people. For people who are more casual into it, the thing that they feel like they cannot fully level their character is the thing that's the frustration. So, I don't know. I mean,
and I guarantee Bungie internally have a number that they expect like a percentage of the population will reach max level by the end of the season. And if that number's too low, they'll be like, well, at the end of the day, we want people to be happy with the season and to keep playing a season. They're either not playing, so they're not reaching the level, they've given up and they've stopped. So that's why it's not reaching our expectations. And I'm sure this is probably like right now predicting who's going to reach max by the end of the season is probably low. And they're like, well, this is not what we set as our goal.
I think it's just about being like, I don't know, setting expectations. Like this community is big about, you know, expectations and setting them and having them being met. And when they're not met, or maybe things weren't communicated the way they should have been communicated, which is, I understand, is really quite hard. You know, communication and transparency isn't as easy as we think as consumers, sort of thing, by after sitting on a panel with two developers and asking me that question and death staring me. But it was scary, I can tell you that.
It's all right. We need names. We'll sort them out. Don't worry about it.
I was like, you know, it's about being transparent and communicating and setting expectations, and both just stare at me and go, and how do you do that? And I was like, I just stream Destiny for fun. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, you know, what the community expects.
And just to close out on the community side of it, like I can be very pointed with tweets, but I genuinely don't mean to be dismissive of other people's things. It just kind of rankles me when people make broad sweeping statements, which I tend to do in response. Don't get me wrong. But when you're in the 1%, you kind of can't speak for everyone. And like there are definitely subjects where people can. Like, I mean, you defer to the experience of the people who play the game most in terms of gunplay and like raid encounters and all of that sort of stuff. Like 99% of the game, absolutely valid. But if you're playing Destiny 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, and you want to talk about how the grind should work for everyone, then like you got to sit back a little bit and realize that you are completely fucking atypical at that point.
But to be honest, I saw some like really hardcore people embrace the changes too, like Slayerage and stuff, saying like,
I mean, it's not all that way. Yeah,
you know, it's both sides. But on the idea of like clear communication and expectations, I sort of had that experience when I did the anthology, and I thought, and that was such a very small portion. Like we released some information about it, and I thought everything was like super clear. I'd read everything so many times, like, yeah, that's cool. And the mass fucking communication and reading into every word and every fucking dot and space, and does this include like, is this like the Halo novels? Is this new stories? Does this include D1 and D2 lore? And like, you just realize how
so many
fucking
questions,
ravenous the community is. And then I'm like, and this was for the most like a tiniest and most simplest scope of a project you could possibly have at Bungie, which was like the shit we've already written put into a book. Like that's the fucking one sentence of it.
Next time, just write that, Matt. Next time, just this is the shit what was already written, and now it's in a book. Do you want it?
Do you want it?
Do you want
Read
it?
the law. I'll just put the law has found you. Fucking that's the introduction.
That's
and
it.
the book
That's it.
starts.
We missed that last
Anyway.
week. I think I can't remember who said what. Anyway, moving on.
Cool.
The other thing that dropped through the week that you've got a little bit of you want to dive into a little bit of lore, Maddie, on the Xeno.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say Xenophage. You say
Xenophage.
Xenophage.
Yeah,
What's it?
Xenophage, I think. This is cool. Do you remember the pictures that came from Guardian Con?
Yeah, the bug gun. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was.
So this is the
frothing
bug
over
gun,
it.
right?
Yeah.
You can't see the bug, really. Have you ever actually looked at the reload? It's very difficult to see. It's like a crystal. They obviously scaled it back a lot, and it's almost non-existent. There's a bug as a symbol, and the like the exotic symbol's a bug, and there's a bug on the gun itself. But the bug in the reload animation, when you actually pull up the whatever you call it, the top case to load the gun. Some machine gun nuts going top case. That's not the fucking name for the top of a machine gun.
Yeah. This is. I understand in America, you probably all understand what that means, but here in Australia, we kill snakes with shovels, and that's about it. So forgive us
shovels.
our ignorance. We mean no offense.
Yeah. So I did have actually someone from Ninja's Discord helped out. Aqua, thanks Aqua, helped. He already had the gun. I said, let me have a look in third person. Maybe we can see the bug a bit better in third person. Still no much help. So I was like, oh well, I'll go through all of the quest steps. And I know I preach this every time because none of you fucking do it. And when you look, I tell you right now, if you start a YouTube channel,
Dad's yelling at me.
And you just upload exotic quests and you actually show every time you complete a step, it changes the law changes in your inventory. So for example, if you have to do something and then go to Eris, right? Like the very last quest step, kill the wizard. Look at bored log is. Fuck,
I'm not.
listen.
Listen, that's
right?
fine.
Right? You killed the wizard and then you have to return to Eris. But nobody ever captures what the inventory actually says. And it was the most crucial bit of lore in that very, very last step before you visit Eris. And I searched for 10 videos before I found one that actually captured it.
So what you were saying is you want someone to start a channel that focuses solely on the text in quests. That is what you're. I just want to clarify.
Can I fucking remind you that I do Word document streams?
Yeah, that was what I was segueing into. I mean, maybe you have fucking like your idea of what will make a successful channel, despite being a YouTuber with nearly 200,000 subs, might be a little bit different to everyone else's. Anyway,
if you do that, I'll shout your channel out every time I use your footage.
There you go.
Anyway, so I was thinking, okay, so the model of the gun doesn't really match the in-game. It might have changed. They change shit all the time from design concept to that. It still looks like the bug gun, but its lore might be different. You read the lore on the gun, and essentially it is Omar Agar. He's the Eris Morn's fight team. They went down to kill Crota. Omar got absolutely ripped to shreds by the Hive, thought to be completely dead. Somehow they ripped his light and his soul out, and he went into something. We don't know what that was. When you finish the actual quest, Eris says, "Oh, I've put Omar's soul into the gun," right? And you're basically Omar's soul's now in the gun. Now that little tiny quest step that fucking no one recorded basically confirms that when you kill that Hive wizard, you actually get a little bottle and it's got a bug inside. And you actually get the bug off the Hive wizard and it says, return the bug to Eris Morn. And when you return the bug to Eris Morn, she says, I recognize this. This is fucking Omar Agar's soul. So he's like inside this fucking insect. And then she puts the insect into the gun. And that's why it says this is going to sting a little because he's like an insect and it has solar and explodes because of their vengeance for Crota. That's the lore. Like, comment,
So
subscribe.
the deal is, we had a guardian who had his soul ripped out by the hive and
Put into a bug, yeah.
into a like the worm in a bottle of tequila, just in an ant in a vial that we get off a wizard. We take it back to Eris, and she goes, "No worries, you haven't suffered enough. I'm going to put you into a gun."
Yes,
and we're going to just fucking shoot you at people for the rest of the time. Okay, no, fine. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah,
Easy.
there you go. So we've got, I've written the script. The editing's done, but I forgot to tell, shout out to Wal, the guy that does the editing for me, to use the dungeon footage. So I hope he's done that. Otherwise, might be round 2. And then Gamma Trap's working on the artwork. Another probably spooky, maybe not spooky, but violent piece of art with Omar Agar getting ripped to shreds by the hive. So that would be cool.
Can you get him to do an alternate version of Omar Agar trapped in the worm in a fucking bottle of tequila?
That would be good.
That's... I'm an
Eris getting
ideas man.
drunk.
Yeah, and Eris is just hammered. Just
Just with the bottle in the mouth.
And the worm's in there like, no.
And then her like trying to shove it in the bottle into the gun to like.
Yeah, she's hammered on tequila. Just yeah, that's.
And then slams a fucking bug. It like kills the bug. Like...
Oh,
that wasn't supposed to happen.
The bug gets loaded into the fucking chamber and shot out and splattered against the wall.
Anyway, while we're talking about getting hammered, it's probably the only perfect segue we're going to get into talking about PAX. So, Tamsin, you were there as well. How was your PAX? How was your PAX, mate? We're going to go off, we'll do questions and shit in a minute, but we'll go a bit off the rails for a minute first. So, how was your PAX, mate? You were a fucking busy bee. You were a busy bee.
I was so busy. I didn't think I was going to be busy, and I actually had to book another flight to get down earlier because when I originally agreed to do the Sparrowing charity event, I was like, yeah, I'll do it in like a couple of weeks out. I was like, I should look at my flights. And I was like, I'm going to miss the panel. So I had to rebook my flights a day earlier and stuff like that and try and find somewhere to stay. But I loved PAX. There was so much Destiny and Bungie stuff, for the people that, paid attention. There was so much stuff going on. Like, there was multiple panels, the meetups, the signings, just people in the community there at PAX. And it was really, really exciting to see, and meet people for the first time within the community. Yeah.
Yeah, it was unreal. I mean, as much as literally I've had to put a second mortgage on my house to pay for all the damage I did to my credit at fucking boat builders.
Oh, not as bad. It was as bad as Slothy because he put some numbers up on the fucking.
Slothy's just making it rain, buying burgers.
I know. I was like, "What are you doing, mate? Stop flying rounds.
Calm down."
Everyone's already fucking. Oh, everyone's already hammered. You don't need to buy double shots. Like, fuck.
I think he was just. I don't know. It was good. It was fun. But you're right. It was. I felt like. I don't think I walked for more than 10 minutes without bumping into someone that I kind of knew. And it was super weird because it was, like people that I'd never met before in real life and stuff. So I hope it's something that we like next year and years going forward that we get to continue and build on because I think that in the Australian community is something that we've really fucking missed. Like, you know, over in the States, they've got Guardian Con and obviously you've been to that and Fam's been to that. And it's probably never going to compare to that. But the the majority of us are never going to get over there either. So if we can, like, we'll make our own little fucking pocket of it on the other side of the world. And
to be honest,
do that.
like Guardian Con, I mean, it's not just Destiny now, but it's exactly what we had, but just sort of times 10, really. Like times 10, the content creators, like everyone's all in the same space. Like, time 10, the artists, there's more there's like, the Gambit booth and there's, people from Bungie, doing panels and all that kind of stuff. But what we had was great. It was really, really good.
It was a good start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way. That's the way to talk about it. I like that.
Yeah,
we had a stern talk to it, like among the three of us when we got home, of like all right, because we basically all went into like, right, what next mode, and Matt being the fearless leader of the bunch of us said, "Oi, just stop for a minute and reflect on the fact that you did something good and it's fucking okay and you can be happy about it. Just fucking calm down."
Well, if you think about like when we all set up that group message on Twitter, probably, I don't know how long it was ago, probably close to a year ago, and we said, we need to do something to bring the community together, because we've got, you guys, and then we had the Guardian Z group, and then, myself and Fami and all these like other content creators, and like we need to do something to, show Bungie that there's a community here, and like you guys did that. Like it's phenomenal to think where we came from that little message to like creating a community event, like having 750 people rock up to that the panel, and Bungie just go, oh my gosh, like look at this, and then to have the community event where 150 plus people came to that sort of thing. We've come a long way just from that one message to say we need to do something. And that's the other thing with like other communities, like they think, oh, we're never going to get noticed, like we don't get any support, but like we did it.
If we can do it, fucking anyone can. Right?
Yeah. I think that was the best thing. It was like, it was a release, but it wasn't like a major release.
Yeah.
And like Destiny 2's been around. Destiny's been around for a long time, so it's sort of like to see that enthusiasm. I think is a pretty strong indicator of a healthy community.
Also, just quickly on the down low, shout out to Felicia, the mother of Destiny in Australia, or at least our mum, like just keeping us on the fucking rails and making it all happen. Her and Reboot and Amber and everyone were fucking super. Like none of that shit happens without them helping us and doing all that sort of stuff. So it's more their fucking victory than ours. We just turned up and got drunk and had a good time, more or less. Yeah, she is. She's in chat. So what I might do, I might open up chat. So have you got any questions about anything Destiny related or PAX related or fucking Tamsin related, or I mean, keep it clean, but still. Or don't. I don't know. I mean, it's the back end of the podcast. We usually fucking give up on that shit. Yeah, we usually reserve this
for the dedicated listeners, give them some juicy stories.
There's no juicy stories at PAX, I think.
I can talk about me freaking out on Twitch if you want and fucking everything up.
Yeah, that was unreal. You need to tell this story because I was kind of watching it unfold of Matt rapidly transitioning back into Twitch from YouTube for forever.
Sloth and Felicia literally heard it unfold because I was just chatting to them in the morning and basically getting all my links set up and all the like donation like Streamlabs and widgets and fucking donation bars and a lot of stuff that I don't naturally have set up because I hardly stream, and when I do I don't have those things on screen. So there was a fair bit of, my night bot, and I thought, I knew that Bungie was going to tweet it, so there could be a fair few people in here, so we better start make sure we have night bot, and we'll turn these notifications off, put these ones on. We'll have the donation stream, have the incentives, have all my tweets ready, Discord post, all that fucking shit to get ready. And then about an hour out, I saw the Jez was before me and he had, 2,500 people watching. I thought, fuck, I'm going to break this raid train. Because I saw Broman and Dado before, and I thought, I reckon they've been raiding each other and keeping the momentum going. And I'm going to stream on YouTube and fucking break that by not being on Twitch. So it was this fucking mad scramble. I was like, fuck, how do I do Twitch again? I honestly, I didn't even recognize the fucking Twitch panel. I was like, where am I? What am I?
Where's my dashboard? How do I
Where's
start?
My dashboard? Had to set up everything again, all the night bots, the Streamlabs, all the commands, the donation commands, fucking everything back in there. Managed to get it done with like 10 minutes to spare. And then, I didn't tell you guys this, I was like, I've made it. And I was like looking at Jez stream, and he's like, "Yeah, we're about to, when Matt goes live, we'll go in." I was like, "Right, hit fucking start stream." Error pops up,
Oh.
and I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I do not know. And I just repasted my fucking stream key, and then it was like, "Please work." I just pressed go again, and it worked. I was like, Jesus. I had to make a video. I had to make a video on YouTube to say, "Come over to Twitch." So I'm like, "Yeah, g'day, fucking live on Twitch," and then start to do that shit, have that go live, and it was actually a bit stressful.
God!
We did it.
Yeah, we got pretty close. Felicia started a fucking shave the beard chant, which
You're getting pretty close to that, aren't you? Goal? Shaving your beard.
Were you not listening before when I said? Are you intentionally ignoring me?
I after speaking to Danny about the time that you shaved your beard for Movember, I'm not going to be the one who breaks the news to her that you have to shave your beard.
It affects our relationship. But for the big players that dropped $100 and $200 donations, I've just sent out your rewards to order your posters.
Dude,
so
there
I've
was some
sent them.
fucking cool shit in that too.
Yeah, I gave them an extra reward. I'm actually not going to tell you what that was because I don't want to give it to everyone.
I don't want to. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. That's cool.
Yeah. Check your emails if you donated $100 or $200, and you will have a cool list of the artwork that I've done with Gamma Trap, and I'm gonna send you the prints, man. I wish I had a print here. The prints are freaking nice. You haven't seen them, but they're hard copy prints. Like, pick something you like, and it'll look dope. It looks really good in frame.
Can I have one guess at what the thing that you've sent as a bonus is?
Yeah, go on.
Is it a printed picture of you when you did Movember when you were in your early 20s?
No. That'll be funny. That'll be funny.
I mean, Jesus. That'd be
I'm hoping for a stripper pack.
I mean, I'll go out on a limb and say that it wasn't far from that. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, I
need to find where those photos are. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, Sloth has them. All of them.
What?
Oh, actually, I've got a poster. Actually, I think it's in my closet here. Is probably one.
Crook. Don't go and get it, please. It'll just derail this even worse. But no, it all went well. It went really well with the stream, and I think it's awesome that we're doing this sort of stuff. I think it does raise a really important question, especially now that you look at Goss moved over to Mixer and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna become like a question that we have to navigate as a community, right? Like, how do you bounce between live streams on different platforms and all that sort of stuff? I was kind of talking about it on tweets and shit earlier in the week, where I'm like, I mean, cool. Like, I have no preference really. I'm on Twitch because it's where all my friends are, but I don't really care. But I wish there was a concise way where we could just have a Destiny directory and it showed everyone that fucking was streaming irrespective of what platform they're on. So,
well, I honestly think that I think one of the things to success with those kind of big 24-hour, gigs is to stay at the top of the directory and to keep that moment. That's why they start with the big guys, right? For sure. And that because you get the numbers in there, and that carries over, and you sit a bit higher in the directory, so you get other Destiny fans coming in. Oh, what's this about? This is a charity thing. Oh, I get a cool ghost show. I'll get this. So it's a legitimate strategy for a fundraiser to do that. Like, imagine if you had Gathalion in the middle, breaking that each. Yeah. Imagine the worst case scenario: Twitch Mixer, Twitch Mixer, Twitch Mixer. I mean,
unless you completely
way less
lose,
donations.
You completely lose any passive viewer, right? Like anyone who's just sitting there being hosted or rated into channels, they're gone instantly because it just doesn't work like that. But I mean, on the other side, let's just give Bungie a shout out for helping up and coming Mixer streamer King Gathalion by letting him host the Bungie bounty on his week-old mixer channel. So honestly, fucking fair enough and good stuff. It's good that
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's got the Bungie
Yeah.
bounty. The Bungie bounty's back on Goth's mixer. To give him the
What do
old,
you mean?
to give him a kick up the arse, to just help him out. Young, fresh started new mixer streamer, Gothalion. So he's doing the Bungie bounty. Bungie just giving him a. It's good. It's good. You're gonna help people out.
Oh, wait. So he's got the he's got the Bungie bounty.
Yeah.
Yeah, on his head.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was thinking, you know, when the Bungie team, you have to hunt down the Bungie team, and he was playing with them.
No. It's just
him.
But yeah. I mean, I obviously sounded like I was being sarcastic, but I'm absolutely not. I think it's good that they kind of pay it forward like that. And it's but I mean, dude, it's his livelihood.
I mean, the
so
thing is, would they
it's-
do it for anyone else? That's probably. But. Let's not go down there.
I'm just gonna.
Does anyone not know who fucking Gothalion is in the Destiny community? That's the real question.
No, I don't think so, and nor they should. I mean, he's been at it for a long time and a high-profile person, but
Yeah, and he's done look, I mean, you can't deny how much Gothalion has done for
yeah,
the Destiny
absolutely.
community
Yeah.
and the boundaries that not just Destiny but gaming in general. And I don't know why it doesn't sit right. I mean, it's sort of like it sort of ignores the fact that he's a very business-minded person. He doesn't need help doing that.
That, and you know,
Yeah.
he's probably set himself up for life because Microsoft would absolutely be paying him to do it. So you know,
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
doesn't really know. But look, that's
So is
that's
that just
being
the
cynical.
jealousy? Is that just cynical? That's probably just cynical.
Yeah, I mean,
jealousy,
I'm waiting
right?
for Microsoft to offer me money to switch to Mixer.
Dude,
I'll bring
that's the fucking
I'll bring
business
10
plan.
views. I guarantee I'll bring the 10 views.
That's the
I saw a
business
joke
plan.
going around
Fuck
that
it.
Mixer is the streamer retirement home. Where you go and get paid just for turning up.
I did think about tweeting them saying, "You got any Word document fucking categories?"
Do you have a word? They don't even have a music subcategory. I was honestly going to go on there and stream music, but they don't have a live music. Like they
Yeah.
don't have a creative category. So, but
Gamma
I mean, look,
Trap tweeted them actually.
all jokes aside, you know, good on him. I think it's a really brave
Yeah.
thing to have done. And if he sets his family up, fucking, you know, more power to him. I can't do anything but respect that. You
The
know,
interesting
that's
thing
unreal.
is, remember those stats? Like Mixer was the lowest.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook gaming's well ahead of it, like by half again.
Is it just
Which-
the platform and like I guess the UI and like how you access it and stuff like that? Like it just wasn't easy, you know,
why
user
people aren't
friendly.
using it.
Yeah, like people didn't really find it user friendly.
No, I actually think the platform's pretty decent. I don't know. I think it's just.
I think it's come a long way. I don't think it's quite caught up with. I mean, Twitch in terms of its appearance is like Mixer looks better. There's a lot of functionality and shit that's been accumulated over the years in Twitch that Mixer just doesn't have, or the support for it from things like Streamlabs and stuff like that aren't quite there on the same level that they are for Twitch. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a function of Twitch being around for longer and the bigger player in the game. So
I just
yeah.
think Facebook has a bigger audience and they just capture it. Like,
I wish.
I guarantee there's a fucking huge portion of kids that aren't allowed to watch video games, but they somehow get on Facebook so they can do it that way.
You know what? I'll say this, and I'll say I reckon this is the one thing that's going to hold Facebook back. I've watched heaps of streams, like Tim Havelock over there, fucking oath, good guy, completely support him doing what he does. I have never commented in his chat for one simple reason. Because I
Your
don't
real
want my
name.
whole fucking name just popping up
Yeah.
in someone's stream. The second they give you the option to say, here is your Facebook gaming avatar, and let you go in and talk, you know, like behind a wall of anonymity like every other fucking platform does, then it works and it will literally just move forward.
Can you imagine someone saying your full fucking name on stream?
happens all the time.
I mean, come on,
Got
man.
him.
You gotta, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Like my avatar is a picture of me with my kids and my missus. So like,
Yeah, see, I for some reason I don't even feel like that. I was just feeling like that was your avatar. But I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah, I hear.
yeah, I just think that that's the only thing that's hanging up. Because I mean, it is the mostly widely used fucking social media platform of them all. Like this, you know, it would conquer. It's just like it kind of runs contrary to everything that like streaming is. I think in that sense, like when you've got people like commenting and it's horrible. Fucking John Smith from Kansas says great game. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like fucking. It takes all the mystique out of it, right? Like you're just some asshole. Oh, Peter Pettigrew from such a... Oh, fuck off, Peter. Like,
Peter Pettigrew.
just whatever.
Oh,
no
yeah,
one
by the
cares.
way, I apologize. I did say some full names in stream
Oh,
by
man.
accident. So, some of them were like, this user would like to keep anonymous. Oh, thank you, fucking Johnny Blogs.
Just Matt doxing people. All right, let's do some questions. I'm going to go to the gents because I've drank 4 beers through the course of this podcast. But and if I don't, I will burst in a shower of piss. And as much as it would be amusing for you, it wouldn't be amusing for me because I'd have to clean the carpet. So I'll be right back.
Questions. I actually haven't been looking out for questions, so we'll have to get some more.
Please repeat.
Unless you've noticed any questions in the chat. Tamsin?
Not yet.
Yeah, right. This is when we would normally have a fucking sloth rant. This is when Log normally goes to the bathroom when Sloth's on one of his major rants.
What is Tamsin's favorite memory streaming Destiny? Streaming Destiny.
Chad, she doesn't fucking like you. She has no favorite memories with you.
I was like,
you're annoying as fuck.
Was it my sister burping on stream last week? Because that was pretty fun.
Is this the sister that was on The Bachelor?
Yeah, she belched last night and we clipped it and it was great.
How is she going?
She's going well.
I can't say I watched The Bachelor. Like, I assume she didn't get married.
No, she didn't get married.
How I've been gone for 10 seconds and we're talking. I mean, fair enough, but still. Anyway, no, she didn't get
Bachelor,
married.
mate.
She didn't get married. Right?
No, yeah, Bachelor, good. No, yeah, she had a lot of fun. You know, gets invited to a few events here and there. Now has herself a boyfriend, so she's pretty happy.
Wow.
Pretty happy.
Was she
get on telly?
She like proper in? Was she like, yeah, honestly, I'll go through this if I get to the end, or is it just a bit of a laugh?
Well, she had a lot of friends that had been on similar shows before, and they were kind of like, go for it, you never know. And like, you know, all the girls go in there, you know, hoping that they might meet someone sort of thing. But there's also like the stuff you get afterwards that's still in the back of your mind, I would say. But she definitely went in there like, you know, never know, I might meet someone sort of thing and it'll be a good experience and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, when I saw him, because obviously she was already in the house and then it came out to the media who the guy was. So I hadn't seen my sister, obviously. I'll talk to her in between. And I just looked and I was like, he's an astrophysicist. He's going to say something and her eyes are just going to glaze over. It's going to go straight over her head. I was like, he's not her type of girl at all, type of guy. So yeah, he's a nice guy.
Did she, because I've heard the editing can be pretty nasty. Did she ever get misrepresented?
Oh, all the time. Like they just amplify. The way she explains it is, you know, if you're a confident 5, they make you out to be a confident 10.
Yeah, right.
So it's just very, very full on.
Can you imagine if Sloth was on The Bachelor?
I mean, I'm going to submit him as, I mean, I know that he's married, a happily married man with children and stuff, but I think he should be the next Bachelor. I think he should be. And you know, he'll just be there, just like he won't be like not giving people a rose. He'll be just like, nah, love, look, fuck off. Just not into it. Just
you're number 1. Not even use their name. 1, cunt off.
Oi, Muppet.
Pull your head in.
Anyway,
Oh, fuck.
yeah.
See what happens when you
it's a
leave?
different world, man. It's
look,
one of those. It's one of those things that like it's a world apart from where I live, but at the same time, like you got to have pretty big, well, not nuts in her case, but nuts to go on TV and like even put yourself in the sphere of that sort of stuff. Like it's crazy.
Chad, do you vape? Oh my god!
You know what? We've managed to hit this subject in a lull where he's not watching it because he hasn't commented "fuck off" yet. So we'll just leave that. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna stop it right there and don't mention it. But we're gonna start the hashtag sloth of a bachelor.
Okay, a couple of questions. I see law stuff here. I'll always jump on that. I'll answer Demuse one first. Fallen Kingdoms, did you do any curation? Yes, I did curation with another gent called Eric. I forgot his last name. He'll be in the credits. We curated that one together, Fallen Kingdoms, and I haven't read it yet. I've got it. Hope it's good. I heard there's a bunch of new lore entries in there, so that'd be cool. The other question from Valhan, thoughts on the new Eris cinematic? I totally forgot there was a fucking Eris scene as you came in.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that about?
Just don't touch the thing, Eris. It made made your green
veil.
thing go purpley coloured. Don't touch it.
No, it
Get off it.
It encased it. You know, it went. I don't know. I have no idea.
She did turn around and look very evilly smirky after that.
Yeah, what was that about? I honestly don't know.
Oh, Matt, I don't know. You're the fucking lore master. I don't fucking guess.
Well, look, I've read everything there is to read in Shadowkeep so far, and I haven't seen any clues to what the fuck that's doing. So there you go. It's probably in the unveiling lore book, I imagine. By the way, have we talked about that shit yet?
No, we have not.
Did you see my Langton's ant on?
Yeah, I didn't understand the whole thing about, like, I just thought it was some kind of Minesweeper variant or some shit.
Oh, you didn't understand the ant?
I understand the concept of like ants in nature. Like, what is the ant? I know that it ended up looking like it drew a massive nutsack and a small penis coming off it, which was like the best self-fulfilling prophecy of all time. But what the fuck, man?
And so that ant was given two instructions, and it was like, turn 90 degrees right if the square is white, and then, you know, invert the color, and then move forward one space. And then if the square is black, turn 90 degrees left, invert the color. So it has these two rules, and it just keeps going. And if you leave it doing that for long enough, it goes through like 3 stages. And the first stage is like, you know, I can't remember the second one's like chaos. And the third stage, if you leave it for long enough, eventually it forms a recurring pattern. And I believe that is what the Vex are maintaining, the pattern of life, essentially.
So they want to turn the whole universe into a giant picture of a dick.
Look at that little grin, a little fucking stupid grin on your face.
Done it again.
Do you remember when you used to do funny lore series?
Oh, fucking Log Power Slave deep cuts, yeah. We should do, you know what we need? We need to do a thing, me and you, where we can put it on my channel because I don't want to upset the sensitive lore community. But where you spend 5 minutes explaining something, and then I'll instantly come in and try and sum it up in 2 sentences as an Australian man.
You could be that, like, you know, like Mortal Kombat, and that little dude comes in on the side. You can be like, interject.
Boop, and stick. Just whatever.
I've quite enjoyed your summaries. It's good.
Yeah, no, I'm a moron. It works. Somehow it works. All right, what else have we got? What else have we got? There was a question, I missed it. All right, okay, here we go. Oh, I'm going to read one from Alpha because I like Alpha and I'm biased. I'm not even apologizing for that. Tamsin, what do you think we could do as a community to help it grow in the years to come?
As an Australian community or as like a just community as whole?
I
as a
reckon
whole?
Australian community, because fuck
Australia,
everyone
I
else. Yeah.
I mean, I think we've already kind of like started paving the way. But you guys obviously, well, first by like just communicating and making friends with each other, you know, like started from a message, you know, and then you guys, you know, creating well, saying, I want to make an event, how do we do it? And, you know, then telling everyone, telling your friends and stuff like that. I mean, the best thing is don't be scared to make friends. Like in the end, we're all the same. And like going to things like PAX, you know, people might think it's really nerve wracking, but I love it now. It's so addicting because you realize that everyone's the same. You know, we're all people that have like love the game and, you know, have fun. And once you realize everyone's the same, it's a lot easier to go and make friends. You don't have to make friends through like packs and stuff like that, but even like in the game, like try not to be afraid of, you know, talking to someone in the tower or joining discords or streams or, you know, communities to like help you play the game sort of thing, because that's where it all kind of starts sort of thing. Like when I started playing Destiny, I didn't have any real life friends that played Destiny. I kind of just had, I think, me and my boyfriend at the time, one or two other friends, but then you meet people in the tower or around, you know, the Destiny universe, and then you start messaging them and start hanging out, and yeah, just make friends. I think that's the best thing about it.
Make lots of friends.
It's one of those things that, like, I mean, I even look at us, and Maddie's incredibly busy. I'm pretty busy. Slothy's pretty busy as well. But even us, like, we could probably do more in terms of just making sure that we get out and about and hang out with people more in terms of streams and stuff. So I think that's, we've kind of had a little bit of a conversation about trying to do more of that sort of stuff. And with the podcast, we're going to try and focus a little bit more on home. Like a lot of the last, you know what, fucking 3 years at this point of doing this shit has been trying deliberately to not like grow it at the expense of itself, but like, you know, like it was important for us to talk to anyone who wanted to talk to us. But now, like we with PAX and that sort of stuff, I feel like we've hit on one of the core reasons that we fucking started this shit to begin with, and that's, you know, bring the community together. So I don't know.
I think it would be wrong to not say that the lightning starting the fire was really Bungie leaving Activision, so they could justify coming here and not have to care about a budget. Well, obviously they did have a budget for it, but you know, the Australian market, the numbers are not there. It doesn't matter which way you fucking pull it. Like, the population is nowhere near the US.
There aren't 500 million people who live here, or 600 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it's very hard to say, well, why do we care? And I think, you know, once that relationship ended and Bungie, you know, very clearly says we do care and we want to build relationships in all of our communities, and we'll make the effort to be here, like, you know, it ignited. And I think that's it's done now. It's often racing. I think our job now is to maintain and grow. There is no rush to grow huge quickly. In my experience, communities that grow too quickly become very toxic and difficult to manage, and you want to make mistakes when your community is small. So I think, you know, embrace the Australian culture, mateship, and we'll, you know, start small and then be a fucking raging mob by the end of it.
Raging group of drunks at the next pack.
We'll be a raging mob, fucking last train out of the city, out of the CBD. A raging friendly mob.
I am calling Demir's thing his comment in chat right now is, that is my ethos for this whole thing going forward: grow fat from friends. That's not a euphemism either. That's how I assume anyway. It's like a wholesome friends thing. Don't grow fat.
The other thing, so I was just thinking, the other thing is being at PAX, I got to talk to a few community managers and stuff like that with different brands and games and stuff like that. And I think the one thing they've realized about the Australian community in particular is everyone's very thankful and grateful. So I think that's something we need to like make sure that we continue to do, is appreciate the attention we are getting and show Bungie, that we appreciate Fez because she's, amazing. And we need to continue to, not take, like, as this continues, don't take advantage and don't expect these sort of things from Bungie. Like, they can easily stop. So we need to make sure we continue to be positive and show that our appreciation in any way we can, whether it's through charity events, like the charity event we're doing at the moment for the Bungie Foundation. It's like, yes, it's supporting a US charity, but it's about supporting the community. Doesn't matter where you're from, right? We all have friends overseas as well. So, I would love, if something was to happen to their family.
You're a fucking human being, right? Like, at the end of the day.
A guardian's a guardian. Like, in the end, like, I have friends, I've met international friends and traveled internationally because of this game. And like, if it came down to it and their family was suffering, I would happily pay for those for those charities to make sure that them and their families looked after because, I care about them and stuff like that. So, just keep being good people and, appreciating everything.
I think one of the things I think about a lot with sort of this question, and it's I 100% agree with like, it doesn't matter about with charity stuff. Like, if people criticizing it's international, why aren't you doing something in Australia? I think that's not really an argument. But what I would say is probably more of an argument is I think we spend a lot of time chasing the US. I think we spend a lot of time trying to achieve what they have achieved rather than thinking about what can we achieve different and what our unique strengths are as Australians. And I think that's probably what came through at PAX really well, was that sort of carefree, go-lucky, jovial nature. And that sort of community event is really one of our strong points. And, you can get a bunch of people like that together very easily. So I think as much as we need to keep supporting the international scene, I think it's important to think about as Australians what we have access to that can make us unique. And, it's cool when Bungie devs are like, hey, can I please go to the next Australian event? That's dope. Like, that is what you want.
Yeah.
Is Bungie devs fighting over coming here rather than having to draw the short straw.
No, I want to get my stomach pumped. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, looking back on it, it doesn't even seem real still at this point. But for us, I mean, nothing's really changed. We're still going to do what we do, and I'm sure that it's much the same for Tamsin. As much as I don't want to speak for her, it's always been about like trying to just. I mean, the podcast was built as a vessel to lift people up. Like, and I mean, it's done that for me and by hanging onto Matt's coattails. And I'm aware of that. But at the same time, it's something that we've got to turn the focus back now onto, like we've always, we don't care how many viewers you got or any of that shit. We, like if you can get to us somehow and present a case for coming on, we don't give a fuck who you are or where you come from. We want to talk to you because we care, and that's what ultimately Destiny is all about. So yeah, anyway, touchy-feely happy days.
Yeah, see, we're too nice when we don't have Sloth here.
I know, right?
Shut up.
I know, right? We need to change this to wholesome down under.
So I'm very passionate about the community. And
same. I think we all are. And
very
Sloth is as well.
Yeah.
He is full of his anger. It comes from a place of love.
He's just full of shit. He's so full of shit. He is so full of shit. He is the nicest bloke in the world. Like, me and Matt are far meaner in person than the Sloth is. I know it doesn't seem like that.
Like, this is the censored version.
It's backwards, because Matt, of everyone, is by far the most intimidating person on the podcast. And then I reckon I'm going to put myself under Sloth, under Matt, and then Slothy's down the bottom of just, he will give you the shirt off his back just to be a good bloke.
If you walked up to him with your dog and go, mate, I've left my fucking throwing stick at home. You don't have anything I can throw for the dog to fucking enjoy in the park. He would take off his fucking prosthetic leg and piff it for your fucking pupper.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Anyway.
All right, cool. Well, I think we've got time for maybe another 5 beers catching up with you. Another beer, another question or two, and then we'll get out of your hair, I suppose, as a viewer. I don't know.
Oh, am I sorry? Are we inconveniencing
Are we inconveniencing you by being a stream?
No. We won't overstay our welcome. We'll get out of your hair very
Matt,
soon.
we've overstayed our welcome as a podcast by about 3 years. I feel like.
Since day dot of seeing a sloth smoking a cigarette in a fucking car.
Oh God.
Do we have that footage still?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It definitely is. I mean, unless it's somehow been demonetized for bogan smoking in car. Like, it's definitely still there.
Oh,
Anamana AU, host of Destiny Beat. TamsinWood, what is your favorite raid and why?
I always say the King's Fall. I think it just has a lot of fond memories. You know, that's when I first started getting into raiding and stuff like that, and it was challenging and a lot of long raids with that. I mean, you know, more now. I mean, as a content creator and a Sherpa, I've developed into, you know, raids now. I mean, I do like the new raid. I've done a lot of that. I've probably too many runs already, but I did like the Divinity run. I thought that was fantastic, and as much as I might moan if I have to do another Divinity run, it's quite it was just really exciting to do, and I was just like wide-eyed the whole time doing the Divinity run, so I did like that as well.
I haven't done that yet.
It's so good.
I haven't done it
It's
yet.
so cool to have like the raid and then have like extra extra little puzzles added on in little like parts of the raid that was like slightly challenging for the first time.
What did you think of Garden of Salvation?
I liked it. It was the good thing about that raid is I feel everyone plays a role. You know, you can't carry a whole entire team. Like, everyone's role is important. There's no one that you can just shove in the corner and say, just sit still while we carry you through. Like, everyone plays an important part, which is good and challenging for Sherpa runs and stuff like that. I like the mechanics. I like explaining how, you know, there's these mechanics. You know, when I start Sherping, okay, so these are some predominant mechanics throughout the raid, you know, the tether, the voltaic overflow, and I like how they develop throughout the raid and stuff like that. And
yeah, they give you like they introduce it, and then they start to get more complex as the raid goes deeper. You apply in different ways. I don't know why I love the idea of it. I think we mentioned when it first came out of you know, the Vault of Glass of having one team get sucked through somewhere and then having to pull them back. I think that's such a I don't know,
the
really
division
fun
mechanic where you kind of randomly force people to figure out how to work together in the moment.
Yeah,
it's such a Destiny thing. It is such a Destiny
thing. Pull, we're ready, pull, and you're like, you know, pull them back.
And then you're not ready, and then you're like, okay, now how am I going to send a third team over? Who goes for the third team?
Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm really excited using. Sorry.
I was just going to say, my favorite thing about the new raid is when people get angry at people for like actually killing enemies and not just shooting down their shields. Like, just shoot down their shields. Just shoot down their shields because you've got the buff that, and then everyone else can kill them after that. I just think it's such a unique and weird kind of like, just focus on the shields, not killing the enemies, just the shields themselves. Weird.
I'm trying to think what my biggest frustration is in that raid. I think it's people not killing the ads fast enough, like at the end encounter. You know, it's so much easier when everyone's dead.
What about the tether? Like being a bit janky, or do you think it's all right?
No, it's not janky. It's just
you have to do it right? It's
you have to deposit 30 motes and it has to be fully charged. So that was when we were doing the day one. Everyone was like, it's broken, but it wasn't that. It was just you weren't completely filling it. And like if the goblins take some of the motes out, then it's not full. So then that's why when you're going, you think it's full, but it's not full. So you really got to like watch out for the last person who deposit the motes, like on the one side. For example, when they deposit it, that they've got that little queue at the bottom, you know, and you hear a little ding. If that doesn't happen, then it's not full. And there's also, you can like look at it. I think if it's glowing, sparkling, full. But yeah, it's just about communication and, watching the tethers, and that you can pull it as far as possible until it goes orange.
Yeah,
and still
yeah.
active. And some people don't do that sort of thing, but we do the one tether strat too. So we tether the boss once, then use the relay defender buff, the mod. So it makes things a lot easier when you only got to tether the boss once, and then you can DPS. So get about.
If you could have seen the words flying over me and Log's head, you would have.
So there's a
the
now
Destiny
I know what it's like. Now I know what it's like
Dumb
when I
Fucks
fucking
podcast.
Now I know what it's like when I talk lore. I just get the fucking blank stares.
I love it. I love the lore, Matt. You've just got a bit of a boring voice.
What can I say?
Well, look, I think we might wrap it up there. It's been a hell of a fucking cast. I've had a good time tonight, and I hope you guys have as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna have to do it more often.
That almost seemed like a threat, though. Can you ask it less threatening?
No, I can't. I'm just.
You're like, you guys have a good fucking time.
So you've had fun, cunts. Fucking. Oh, hey, was that the first C-bomb with the?
I think so.
No, I said one before when I was playing Slothy as a bachelor.
Oh yeah, no, and totally appropriately. I'm happy with this. It's been a very harmonious podcast. I've got to admit, I was completely prepared to play the role of the angry man, and I just haven't needed to. So I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe that's something we can take away from this. Don't need anger, just love.
Oh, we don't have the sign out.
Oh, can you remember Slothy's sign off? Tamsin, can you remember Slothy's sign off?
Mate, have we got 15 minutes? I can't remember it. He'll be like something like, "Oh, thanks all you dudes for listening on
hang on.
all the places we listen to."
You know what? I'm gonna try and wing it. I'm gonna try and wing it. I'm gonna play some music. No, not the sad stuff. The angry music. Here we are. Oh my god! Stop. All right. Well, I mean, if you're listening to the podcast on one of the audio platforms, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching this video on YouTube, hit the like, comment, and subscribe, even though you will not get notifications because fuck you, YouTube. And if you are rocking on in the live stream, I'd like to thank you very much for turning up live, checking it out, and helping us have a fucking great time this evening. And I don't know, Matty, you got something weird you want to say to close this shit out, or what?
Yeah, if you're on
hang on.
Mixer, checking us out for the first time on Mixer.
Thank you to Tamsin for coming on and filling the Slothy's seat, not literal seat. I mean, that would be weird, but thank you, mate.
Where can we find you, Tamsin?
Twitch.tv/TamsinWood or Twitter.
Same deal. Same time.
TamsinWood92 actually on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, Twitch and Twitter.
Is there any other Tamsin Woods out there? Or?
No.
So you don't even need to be 92. You're just flexing at this point.
Wait, no. There is. Sorry. Sorry.
All right. Anyway, let's not. Matt,
we
say
did a
something.
good job at that.
But if you're on Facebook Gaming, you also find her under TamsinWood.
Please don't look me up on Facebook.
Yeah, God, don't look anyone up on Facebook ever.
Stay away.
Except Tim Havelock. He's fucking actually streaming there and making a good living out of it. So visit him. No one else ever. Except the DDU because we've got a page. Anyway, bye.
Can you shut up, cunt?
I'm trying.
Hey, there we go again.
Right. I'm trying to close out with the law will find you. Because look how angry he is now.
No.
The law will find you in the bottom of a tequila jar, in the back end of a bug, after error spawns, I don't know, shit face. There you go.
You kind of gave up on that halfway through. That was simultaneously excellent and hopeless. Good job. All right, we'll see you next week. We're going to go and raid someone that I don't actually know but is Australian. His name is Yoda Eats Bacon, and I am in complete agreement with everything he stands for, judging by his name. So go in, make some fucking noise, introduce him to the DDU community, and thank you very much for hanging out this evening. It has been an absolute pleasure. And Tamsin, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been wonderful. All right, Matt, Tequila will find you. Good night.